So this is day 2 with my Georgia Tip Challenge Mustang, who was known as tag 5419, but as of day 1, he got his tag removed and is now Denali. So in this video, he's going to be learning about leading. This is a big step for these guys. It's not always the prettiest. I mean, halter pressure is completely foreign to them. So I made sure I did a lot of desensitizing him to the rope in my hand, reaching up to his neck, face, underneath his chin. And then I went ahead and clipped it on. Denali isn't a very high energy horse, so I kind of figured when he would feel pressure, his reaction wouldn't be to completely bolt and fight against it like a lot of the other Mustangs. I kind of figured he would just stand there and do what he's doing here. And what I have to do is keep holding pressure on his rope, and whenever he takes a step into the pressure or some form of movement into the pressure, whether it's forwards to the side, I need to release the tension on the rope because that's how he's going to learn that he's doing the right thing. So this right here is pretty much the most feisty he will get throughout this whole video and this whole session, and it's still pretty minor. I've had a lot worse and it's not that big of a deal. He wants to fight against the pressure still. He hasn't quite figured out that his release is from stepping into it. And all I can really do is keep holding that pressure, and just as soon as I feel him move his weight into it or step into it, I need to release so that he can learn from that. And he does try and bite the clip a little bit right there. He was getting really mad at it, but I'm just going to keep holding pressure. Here he gets away from me a little bit, and there's some slack in the rope, which I need to grab a hold of right away. And he's kind of back to being just lazy and stubborn. And so I'm going to keep holding pressure. And for a little bit, what he does is he'll step into it and he'll get a release, but he tries to just walk off right away. So he can't get that big of a release because I want him to step into it and then stay still so he can be rewarded more. And just learn, you step into it and you process that, not just continue to fight it. So we're going to have to do a bit of a back and forth until he starts to get that. Right here, he finally gets a really good step and then he stands still. You can see him licking and chewing and he's starting to process that. And I made sure to go up and rub him as an extra reward. So at this point he's over fighting against it and moving away. He more so wants to just stand there and fight against it at the standstill, if that makes sense. So all I'm going to do is keep holding that pressure, and I'm going to move around a little bit to see if I can turn his head and bend his body to make him want to step forward more. And he's just being a stubborn guy, but he does good right there. And I didn't fight him too much when he went to go turn away. I waited a second to see what he would do. And then when I felt him move off, I just brought him back as a correction. And I'm going to have to keep playing around with that, just correcting him each time he steps off until he learns to just step and stand still. After this last step he takes to get away and I correct him and give some pressure back, he finally understands and just stands there. Kind of looks a little bit grumpy about it, but he's licking and chewing, which means he's taking it all in, which I'm really happy about. So at this point you can tell he's starting to understand the pressure and he's doing really well with it. He's not fighting it anymore, and I'm rewarding him after he takes that one step and stays pretty calm with it. He really picked it up. He had a little bit of a struggle for a bit. It really wasn't that long, and I think once it clicked, he really took that in and processed it, and he held on to that.
Good boy.
Right around here, we start working on getting more steps. I'm looking for him to take more than just one single step, and we're going to build off of that and start looking to get some real forward movement going around the round pen. And he picks up on that pretty well. He just really took it in. I mean, he had a little bit of a few moments where he got stuck, but it was not hard to get him out of that rut, and he really just kept moving forward, and I really like that. He's a really smart little horse, and I do like his brain a lot.
Good job, buddy. Good boy. Good boy. Good.
I gave him about a 5-minute break and then we went back to it. I wanted to find a really good note to end on. And this whole last part is really amazing compared to where we started. He's getting forward movement, he's staying calm, and then when he does have his moments where he stops, he feels that pressure and he gives into it. And he's just being really good, and I really liked how he was responding.
Good job. Sorry, I kind of picked up that. So smart. Little grumpy baby head. I got a new point about being happy. I'll keep it really quick because he's got some nasty toys already.
This horse is extremely food motivated, and he wanted to reach down to grab some leftover hay. And that's the first time he got stuck in a good while during this session because he did not want to be taken away from his food, but he did really well. But overall, he did absolutely amazing, and I'm super happy with how he processed all this, and it was just a really good leading session.